Just this once. And I want to subscribe.
Card D Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Discover Western OP10 lists and Eastern OP11 lists on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, here's the Purple Luffy list in this video. It's not much different from my previous Purple Luffy list. I'm running the Gamma Knife just because of all the 8-cost kit decks, but only as a one of. I hope to find it with Law or Gungam Giants in the late game to filter my hand. And then we're running only one Onami just to fit everything else we want to fit into the deck. I think having 3 Big Moms and then 2 of the 9-cost Luffys is pretty important, and 3 Sanjis. But yeah, this is a new meta where I think Purple Luffy had gained the most from the ban list, because we lost our weakness into Luchi from all of his Ice Ages, and then weakness into Doflamingo from all of his pressure from Jinbei. So, I mean, it's only great things for us here. So I thought I should show some Purple Luffy gameplay post-ban list. And yeah, if you're wondering what this tool is, it's my deck builder. I have a link in the description below, deckbuilder.cardkaizoku.com. If you want to see prices for this deck, I have like a button for that too. Right, so on TCG Player, for the cheapest version of every card, this deck will run you $340, and it's just because of Mr. 2 here. And if you click on these links, it'll take you to the product page to buy the card. And it's my affiliate link too, so if you want to support me that way, if you're going to buy these cards anyway, you can do it that way. I also have a button here to like mass enter it into TCG Player. I know that's a feature. So it takes whatever you have in your deck list here, you click it, and then from here you just paste from your clipboard, it saves it to your clipboard, and then you add to cart, and boom, every single card in the deck is in your cart now. And then you could optimize on TCG Player to find the cheapest way to buy these cards. So yeah, that feature is there if you guys need it. Just thought I should show it. And then after optimizing your cart, it does come out to around 348, 344, depending on which cart you want, which is really close to our estimate on our deck builder. So yeah, you can trust the prices to a degree. Right, so we have Purple Luffy versus Lim here. This is going to be post-match commentary. Again, just it's really hard for me to record these days because my wife is kind of sick. But yeah, we'll just standardly ramp on our second turn, go to 4. We'll play out 4 dropout. Fortunately, we didn't find a Zorojuro or Mr. 2. So they do play a 1-cost Lim that can untap herself or another of their Odyssey type characters. They attack us for 5. So they have a Sabo up. I don't want him to have 2 rested characters out because Sabo gets to draw for them. If he has 2 rested characters and he attacks. But we're not going to take a 5 either. We'll counter that because we're going to leader ability again this turn for sure. It's a 7. So yeah, no Luffy Taro play, but we didn't get him anyway. So we'll just do the Sanji here. And then we'll just tap the Lim, but it doesn't really matter because we can pop it with the Kamazo. So kind of a hidden blessing that we didn't find the Zorojuro, because I think Kamazo is good in this situation too. Right, this 1-cost Lim is really annoying to deal with. We can do like 7 at the Sabo, and then 5-5 at lead. I was thinking maybe if I just did everything at leader, I could just race them because they're pretty low on like life to begin with, because they're a 4 life leader. But yeah, a 5k gets with the 2, they take a 5. Sorry, the 7 at the Sabo was met with the 2k. 5 at the leader was met with the 1k counter there. So I think if I had done Sanji at leader, he would have been at potentially at 1 life right now. But yeah, he can play 2 things this turn. He can play a 3-drop and then leader ability. But he does 8k at Kamazo with the Sabo without anything on board, so he doesn't get the draw. So it's just a vanilla character at this point. And then 7 at us, we're going to counter this because we have an abundance of counter in hand. Not much to play next turn. So either we top deck something or I play the kid. So he does Mihawk to restand the Sabo to attack again. That's really tricksy. In the end, it might have been better for him to do a bigger swing with the Sabo, because if he's going to double it up anyway, that 2 down on the Lim could have been a lot more utilized. So yeah, we'll just do 8k at the Sabo here. We're going to play Mr. 2 just to copy their Zoro if they play it next turn. Or the Audio too. Audio is a nice target for the Mr. 2 to copy. So he protects the Sabo 8k, and then we'll just throw 8 at the Sabo again. The Sabo can actually draw. We'll leave 1 down up to protect our Sanji just in case. Just in case they don't play a 9k power character next turn. So 3 cards in hand, it's pretty likely that he's going to die here. And I type comment there, Mr. 2 for Zoro. Yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. If he plays Zoro, I just get a free 9k swing with my Mr. 2 here. And I think with the Gungam Giant and playing a blocker, I should be able to survive to finish them the turn after. Okay, Lim. Yeah, so since they played Lim, there's no Zoro play, so I don't have to worry about it. Goes through the Doflamingo. I'm guessing my Mr. 2 deterred him from playing a 9k power. He does 10 at Sanji with Mihawk. That's easy Gungam Giant. So we get a Gamma Knife that is not for this matchup in particular. 5 of us will take. And then yeah, we just clear board. He does have a untapped blocker though, so that's a little bit annoying. We just throw an 8 at the Mihawk, get the easy kills out of the way. We could just develop a Sangoro this turn and then try to get him as low as possible. So we just do 8 at leader. They take that, we'll play Sangoro and pass. And because we don't tap our Mr. 2 yet, like anytime he drops a 9k, it just makes it easier for us to have lethal against him, right? Especially since we have Usohachi in hand, and they don't play any blocker greater than 5. So our Usohachi taps everything in this deck. Yeah, I type Zoro equal dead for him. Audio too. The only thing I did have to worry about is like a Mihawk, kind of like double attack for lethal kind of play. But since he played audio, it makes it easier for me. So he does 5 at me, there's no point in taking a 5 here. A 6 or 7 I may take from this point on. Doflamingo can just untap himself, so it's a free attack. But he's not threatening my Sanji. He doesn't think he has the Dawn for it. Well, he is threatening my Sanji, so 7 at 7 will counter 2. 7 at 7 will counter 2. Forgo the Usohachi from tapping a blocker. Just, I think having the Sanji out is more important at this point. So we could do like a 999 all around, I think, or 99910. We'll just do a 9 and then count the Dawn later. Okay, and then he takes that, we'll do 9 at them. He still has Audio's leader ability to get plus 2k for 1 Dawn. So he does use it, and then he needs 2 more cards to defend, and he does have it. Do 9 with Sanji. Hopefully he blocks this, because yeah, we already sussed out that he doesn't have enough to counter at 9k on previous turns, and yeah, he just concedes. Second game, Purple Luffy versus Luchi. So yeah, without Ice Age, this matchup is really hard for him unless he starts with an Uta, and not every Luchi is running Uta. I think Uta makes this matchup pretty one-sided for Luchi, but without it, it's the other way around. That's how flippy it is. So yeah, we'll start with a Law to find a 9-cost Luffy. If we can get that guy out, it's hard for him to deal with it. Right, he needs like 2 Hinas and a Brook to attack to get rid of it. Though a lot of people are running Finger Pistol nowadays, so that can get rid of my Luffy with the Laboon or something. So do 5 at lead here, he counters. He played out a One-Legged Soldier, which is a 2k out of his hand, right? So play Zoro and find a Taro for next turn. We can Taro into Sangoro. Yeah, if at this point he can't get rid of Zoro, it's really bad for him. So if he can at least do that, it staves off some pressure. But if he can't, then next turn I'll have Zoro, Sangoro, and Luffy Taro. I think that's a little too much for Luchi to deal with. Without Ice Age, of course. This is where the Uta would be nice, because Uta plus leader plus a Brook can kill Zoro. Then you have your Brook to KO next turn. Right, you don't need to spend additional Dawn for KO, you just can spend it all on cost reduction. But yeah, 5 of us would counter 1 here. Just be a little healthy, because we're going to lead ability next turn for sure. And then it's probably going to pop the One-Legged Soldier, and then... I do think like a 4-cost Luchi is good against this board, it kills both characters on board. But a Brook works just as well. Right, Brook is good in that on the future turn you don't need to spend any more Dawn to KO. Okay, Luchi out. Yeah, kills my board here. Yeah, I've updated my Luchi list since then too, so maybe I should do some new Luchi videos. But that's for another video, it's a Purple Luffy video. So we'll do 5 at lead, then Taro into Sangoro. Right, you want to play the highest costed things just to make it harder for him to deal with. Against aggro decks, you would probably want to play the Zordro to draw like a 2k counter. But we have our hands are bricks right now, so it's a little risky. Because the new Luchi does get pretty wide and pretty aggro with the Hinas and stuff. At least the version I run. I can't assume everyone's running my version. There's people running the 10-cost Kuzan. I don't, at the moment, like that card. Maybe I'll have to test it and change my mind on it, but I like to play more of like a mid-range. Oh, I keep talking about Black Luchi. Sorry. It's all been playing for a long time, so we'll just counter 1 here. Purple Luffy, Purple Luffy. Talk about Purple Luffy. 6 of us will counter 2. Or we take it, okay. I guess I feel pretty safe. Yeah, here comes the Hina and then a Brook to kill our Sangoro. So yeah, Taro at Luchi is instant kill, and I do think if I just keep a wide board, eventually it'll break through. I could leader ability and then Lunlin here to get rid of their like Hina or something, but I don't think it's worth 6 at lead. Then Taro into Juro. I mean, Sanji to kill the Brook would be nice too, but I think like with the Rebekahs and Mancherries, it'll just come back the next turn anyway. This way, if I have 2 things on board, it'll be harder for him to get rid of like every single thing. He can get rid of 1 or 2 things max. So we pick up the Onami. I'm starting to want to cut the Onami. I'm just finding that it's not providing me with as much value as I would like. I think I only keep it in the deck because it's a Nami card. So it's like sentimental value, but if I think objectively, right, it dies to Mulgun for free. That's the one thing I don't like about it for Fordon. Something that just dies. And then the Mulgun debuffs your other thing that dies too from being attacked into, so yeah. Might cut the Onamis out or reduce it to 1. So it does play the 4-drop, or Spandam into a 4-drop Luchi in hand, so we know he has KO, but he already has a Brook on board. I don't think he has enough to clear all 3. He would have 3 KO outlets, he just doesn't have the cost reduction for all of this. So we'll see how he finesses his way out of this. And yeah, next turn, I just play 9 cost Luffy. If I'm healthy enough, right, if he goes from my board, I'll play the Rush Attacker that 9 costs, unless he plays like a Laboon that he countered with and a Finger Pistol, it's hard for him to KO. Then I want to save the Sanji for late game, I think. In case he plays Rebecca's or Sabos to defend, we just tap it and then have Rush try to go for game. We also have Usohachis for that, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to use these to counter. Okay, plays a Hina. So that's 2 Hinas out. There's potentially... Well, I personally run 4, but I think most people run 2 or 3, so... These could be all the Hinas we have to worry about. So 5 of us will counter this for 1. And then he can still put Dawn on Brook. He needs 1 cost more. He plays a Luchi. So this is pop our Luffy Taro. And look, he has 4 attackers for next turn. So we're not out of the woods just yet, actually. Right, if he's racing one big thing versus one big thing, I could like heal with Lin or play Gungam Giant to stop 1 attack, but 4 attacks is a lot harder. So 5 of us will counter 1. Okay, we top deck a Gungam Giant, which is good for us. 5 at Hina. Now, the scary thing about killing their Hinas is that they could always bring it back with the Rebecca to get that minus 4 cost. They do let it die, so that kind of makes me think that they want it dead in the discard, so we'll do 6 at lead. They counter 2, 8 at lead, they'll take. I could go for the Lin, but I think Luffy is better because I think I can survive. Right, 2 life, and I have a 6k counter in hand. They did get a Finger Pistol trigger that kills my Zordro, so that was unfortunate for me. But yeah, I have a 9 cost and a 7 cost. They could probably only get rid of 1, and it would take their whole hand. And then I just go for game the turn after with Usohachi. Would have been nice to keep the Sanji for that lethal swing, but I think I needed to maximize the efficiency of countering, right? I had to stop the 5k with the 1k. If I use a 2k, I'd only have 5k counter this turn. That might be a little more risky. So that was the trade-off that I went for. So to play Khalifa to get minus 2 cost, this is 4 Dawn for minus 2 cost, so that's really detrimental for their like comboing. So this gives me like a really big side relief. I don't think he's gonna do much this turn. It's a 2k out of the hand too, since we're planning on going for game next turn. This is like really good signs for us. So it makes our Luffy Taro a 5 cost. He still needs quite a bit more to get him within range of KOing. Or if he has a Finger Pistol, that works right now too, but then he'd only have 1 Dawn left over. Or no, he'd have 2 Dawn left over, sorry. So Leader Swing makes him into a 4 cost. That's still not enough for Brook, at least. He cycled out a 1-legged soldier 2k too, so I'm wondering what's in his hand. If he's not keeping defense, he must not be worried about us killing him. Us, the deck with like 7 rest effects. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to save an Usohachi if I can manage to. So I'll counter with the Kamazo and then the other Usohachi. I might even try to go to 0 if he does attack my life instead of my characters. So he does 5 with the Hina, we'll counter 2. 6 with Luchi, we just counter 2 here. Or we could take it and see what they do with the rest of the Dawn. We do take it. Yeah, because everything else on board he needs to commit Dawn to. Right, if he wants to go for game, it'd be like 7-8 with the Brook and the leader. Which I have enough counter for. And if they use all their Dawn for that, then I don't even need Usohachi to tap a blocker. But unfortunately, yeah, I get no counter from life, so that's a little scary, but based on the board state, I don't think he can do anything more than that. He could try to go wide and go like 5-5-7, but that would just bring me to 0 life. He does 5 here, that makes me think he might go 5-5-7. In which case I should just counter this, because if I take this, he'll just do 9k with the Brook, and I can't stop that. So he has options. He can play a blocker here. I don't think he can KO or Luffy Taro then with the remaining Dawn, but I could be wrong. But it'd be like a Hina and then 7 at leader. I guess that works, but then they just die the turn after. So they have to play like a Rebecca or a Sabo here. Yeah, I guess Rebecca works too. You can bring back the Hina from the discard. And then 6 at lead. He does Tempest Kick, so yeah, Brook can kill now. Kill my Luffy Taro, but my Luffy is standing strong. He's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. But if he had Ice Age, this would be like really easy for him to clear. So yeah, Purple Luffy, one of the biggest winners out of the Ice Age ban, I think. He could do like 5-6 with the Spandam and Brook. I suspect he has Sabo and then can't put Dawn on Brook. That's what he's deciding, whether to put Dawn on Brook or not. Does play the Rebecca. Could just bring a 2k back to hand. And then yeah, Brook can do 5 and kill my Luffy Taro here. He does bring a Brook from hand. He plays it out. I think that's a mistake, because that's one counter that you could have used. But I don't think it matters in the end anyway. Right, but if he wanted to be efficient, you would have brought back a 2k counter and used the Brook you had on board. So we'll just play Uso Hachi here, and then I think it's like 11-12 is the math here, or 11-11, 10, and then 12. Took the 10, which is a good sign for me. I guess if he didn't take the 10, he could defend it. I would leave 2 down up for Gungam Giant or something. But yeah, that's that game. And then the last one I have for you is Purple Luffy versus Shanks. So yeah, the more aggro Shanks, I think it folds a little more to the aggro Purple Luffy. Or actually, I don't know. We'll just see how this game goes. So yeah, I'm trying to look for a Luffy Taro and a 9-cost Luffy. That's your biggest bets against Shanks. But yeah, we'll ramp with the Mr. 2. That's why Red Purple Luffy is good into Shanks, because he can ramp to his late game first. So Purple Luffy, by extension, should be similar. We just don't have access to the red late game. Yeah, I mentioned that I shouldn't have attacked there, because if he did have Red Hawk, he could have killed my Mr. 2. So that was kind of stupid of me, so don't do that. If they have 2 down open and you don't need to attack, don't attack. At least in the early stages. So yeah, we find all that we need, 7-cost Luffy and 9-cost Luffy. So do 5 at lead, and they're just going to lead ability into Luffy Taro. And then since we're so low on life, I did leave Dawn up for Gungam Giant just in case, but I think honestly I could have attacked with my leader for 6. If I went to 1 life, that would have been fine. So he does swing 11. Actually, no, that would have brought me to... Yeah, 1 life. I was going to be 1 life anyway. So I should have just attacked for 6. So it was my flip there. I was a little too cautious there. So we do Songoro 6 to draw. We have so much defense in our hand that even if we're at 1 life, I think we're completely fine. And yeah, I developed 9-cost Luffy this turn. He can't deal with it. He does leader ability my leader and counter 2. So we'll do 8, he takes. We'll do a 10k swing here with our Luffy. And then we just keep this Mr. 2 in our back pocket. In case, and whenever he plays something big, we just get a free attack with him. Or unless he plays a Rayleigh this turn and pops him. But then he has to deal with everything else on our board that he can't really contend with right now. Especially since he didn't get anything to play the first few turns. That's one of the tricky things about Shanks. He's so inconsistent, right? When you high roll, he does amazingly well and he tops. But then when you low roll, you're the guy who complains about the deck and like swear you'll never play him again because you get so unlucky with him. But then you see some other guy top with it and you're like, oh, that could have been me. That's the deck that I play. But you just don't get that luck, you know? The Shanks that makes top tables is the one that gets everything on curve by pure luck. Okay, so they play Ben Beckman to kill Songoro. And then a Building Snake out, so that makes me think that there's like a Rayleigh play at some point. Right, Rayleigh plus Building Snake lets him KO Luffy Taro pretty easily. So he does 5 at me, we'll just counter. We have so much counter in hand. So I probably should play the 9-cost Linlin and put the Building Snake into life. But I think I go for the Luffy Taro Songoro play instead. So we just get a free 7k here. Copy their Mr. 2. Right, if I go for Luffy Taro into Songoro, I do have Dawn up for Gungam Giant if I need to. If I do Big Mom, I can't do the 7k swing with my leader here. Right, because it would be a 5 that he has to just leader ability away. So he does counter. We'll do 8k at lead and then 10 at lead. He'll take that. Taro into Goro. This should set us up for lethal next turn no matter what he does. So he just attacks 2k into Mr. 2. That's another reason to get rid of the Building Snake too. But yeah, he just has his leader that he can throw 5 into. I think it's worth it to counter 2. Because if Mr. 2 died and the leader attacked me for 5, then I would have countered 2 anyway. So in that scenario, maybe he changes his mind and doesn't kill Mr. 2. But yeah, in the end, he died anyway. But, you know, micro optimizations there. So if he plays 10 cost Shanks, he can't finish. Or he'll die. So he has to go for like a Rayleigh play. He does go for a Rayleigh play, so he just debuff characters that he doesn't want me to attack with. Then Luffy Taro is a goner. Right, just needs minus 2k more. Oh, he didn't pop my Luffy Taro. He wants to attack into it. He popped my Sangoro instead. I guess he could do 7 or 9 into Luffy Taro, in which case I will Gum Gum Giant. Gum Gum. Gumu Gumu no. Giganto, and then we'll get rid of Lin Lin. And then we'll counter 1k, Zok on. Right, Giganto is a lyric in that song, right? By Teriyaki Boys. It's like Pharrell's rap. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, we'll do 9 at lead. No, you guys are probably too young. You guys don't know. You guys don't know the Teriyaki Boys. Take the 9, throw 7 that he debuffed, and then we could do... probably should do a 9 with the Luffy Taro, but I think I swung an 8 here. This is 2 cards to defend, and we'll do the rest on our leader. He didn't have any counter anyway, so yeah, we got it. Devastating. Bye.
Card D Kaizoku.